Day 128, 9th of October, and the day 128. Today we are going to cover Express security. Security related to the ExpressJs, that is basic authentication and the JW. Yeah, basic authentication and the JWT. We are going to see basic authentication and JWT. So let's create basic authentication means just username and password. Let me create a day 128 new folder, day 128. Here again one more folder, basic auth, and cd day 128 basic auth. So npm use 18 and npm install Express. First we need to install the Express. We have installed the Express over here, and the node project explicitly doesn't need to be created. Npm init. Okay, few things have been added over here, and dependencies we have added the Express. So app.js, here we can add, so const Express is equals to require Express, const app is equals to Express, const port is equals to 3000. Okay, so we need to send and receive the JSON. So app.use, we can app.use, we can say express.json middleware we are adding over here. So default user, so this is okay. Now we need to have one get request, app.get. So API /API, then request response. So here we can say const data is equals to msg, means message, hello, this is your data, and timestamp, here we can say new date. We are going to send response.json this data object. Similarly, we can have app.post, one post method, /API, and then request response. So we are going to receive some data. So here we can say body b or req dt is equals to request dot body, we are reading it from the body, and then a response.json, and I would be sending msg received this object, and here we can say req dt. Then what? Listen, app.listen, app.listen. Just a minute. Now here, listen on the port, and this console.log server running on port, this port. So here we can say node app.js. Can you see server is running? Let's write the REST file. So api.rest. So here we can say get http localhost colon 3000 / API. Send request, and can you see you are getting this message? Let's do it for post. And this body, here you can say nm name Android version 23. Okay, let's try to send this thing. There should be space over here. And here we need to have, we need to add headers, actually content type, application JSON. Send the request. Can you see? You are sending to the server, and server is request data is giving something like this back. But problem over here is that anyone can call this request. Anyone can call this request. What we need to do, only the specific user who are users of our system, they should only call this thing, right? Only they should work with this thing. Now basic authentication is that only. So we can have, just say, a static username, const user underscore name. Let's have a static one, say admin. If user have logged in with this user, password, and admin123, admin124 is the password. So here we need to add the middleware everywhere. So before calling actual thing, middleware shall execute. So const basic auth is equals to, you know what do you mean by middleware, request response and next, request response and the next. So const, here we can say auth header, auth HDR header is equals to request. We need to extract one header, request dot headers and authorization. So here we can say if there is auth header is not there, if not auth header, just return the response, just return what you can say. So here we can say return response dot status is 401, 401 is unauthorized dot JSON. Here we can say MSG invalid user. User must log in first. User must log in first. Okay, if auth header is not there, you need to log in first. Now, remember that basic authentication, whenever you pass the request, you send the data in this form, username colon password. Basic authentication, you send the data in this form, user colon password, and you convert this to the base 64 string. So client will convert this into the base 64 and send it to the server, which means that server will get one encoded string. We need to decode that string and we need to obtain original user and password. We need to obtain the original user and password. So here that code we would be writing now. If this const base 64 creds. So first we need to obtain the base 64 creds. So here auth HDR dot split and here once and one. Const creds. So here we can get the creds buffer dot from. So here we can say base 64 creds and this base 64 string is in the base 64 format, and to here we can say string ASCII. So we need in the ASCII. So here I can print, here we can say console dot log base 64 creds base 64 creds, and here we can have normal console.log creds. Okay. Now I told you, so string in this format, username colon password. So if we split that, so here creds we are going to get an array. Here this creds we are going to get an array. So we can use the destructuring of the array, const username password is equals to creds dot split by means of colon. So we can console.log username and console.log password. So here we will check if our username is exactly equals to our username in a DB, and password is exactly equals to password in a DB. Then and only then we are going to call next. Else same thing. Now here else invalid user, okay. Now here you need to call the, that's it, you need to call what? Basic auth middleware. Before executing those actual things, it shall call this middleware, okay. Now here if you see, now here if you see, this is the rest file, and here we can pass admin colon admin 124. Can you see? So this is working. Now if I pass anything admin adm, just a minute. Yeah, so here we need to use something called as @auth, not like this, at sorry @auth and admin adm. Just try to send the request. Okay, we need to see the document how to add the basic authentication. Yeah, can you see? Basic authentication support is there. Okay, so we need to convert actually, so it won't. Let's add authorization header. Admin ADM. No, but if we have written the code, oh, we didn't run the code actually. See, this is the big mistake. If you change the code but you didn't run the thing, yeah, can you see there is an error, internal server error. Base creds are undefined, so we are not sending any basic, we are not sending any credentials, authorization. So online base 64. So here we can say admin colon admin 124. Encode admin colon admin 124. Yeah, so this string we need to pass actually. The first argument must be a type of string. There is a problem in a code, or authorization. Yeah, can you see user must log in first? So A should be capital. So what password we have hard coded? Admin 124. Add MIM, it has done admin 124. Now let's encode the string. So this is the base 64 string. Again, just change this string from here. Authorization, right? Rerun it. And send the request again. Application JSON. Okay. Authorization thing. User must log in first. Can you see? It is, so it is not getting this authorization header itself. We are not passing, and that's why you are getting response directly from here. So let's console it. Console.log auth header. It is undefined. Can you see? Authorization. Was there any spelling mistake? send it, again undefined. Okay, let's try to print this headers. Console.log. Can you see this is authorization? Content type is also there. We are getting small authorization. It is not a string. If you see user agent, content type, these are the strings. So this thing, it is saying it is not, it is not considered as a string. That's the concern. Again, can you see all these are in the quotes? This is not in the quotes. That's the problem. Yeah, we had to add the basic over here. I was forgetting that. So here, can you see decoded things are there, and here you are getting the thing. Now let's try to add something else, w over here, and send the request invalid user, right? So we have changed our data, and it is the invalid request. So what is the process of basic authentication? What is the process of basic authentication? What is basic authentication? Username and password. Basic authentication. Authentication with username and password. So username colon password encoded in base 64 format. So this base 64 string will be transferred to server. Server will decode base 64 to normal. If creds are matching, then it is success. Else fail. Else what? Fail. Getting my point?
Yeah.
Okay. Now we are remaining with the last session of Express tomorrow, which is towards the security only. So today we have done the basic auth. Today we have done what? Basic authentication. Tomorrow one more little bit stricter way of authentication is the JWT, JSON Web Token. That we will see tomorrow, and that is the end of the Express. So one topic is there, database connectivity. So that we will start database connectivity with the Express. So first we will learn the databases, and then again I will make a connectivity. Right, Mau? Hello?
Right. Yes, right.
Yeah. That's it all about the basic authentication. Tomorrow we will talk about the JWT and we'll move to the next topic, databases. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah. That would be the last topic of the Express and the Node.js. Fine. Let's call it for a day. We'll meet tomorrow. Thank you.